All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. I don't know what word I was going for there, but we do have a bit of cheese in this game, as it would appear. So let's get these intros underway. Before we do, big shouts and thank you to our channel sponsor, ChairsForGaming.com, ChairsForGaming.ca. They sell DX racers to North America, and let's not forget as well the sponsors of the event, Cooler Master, aka CM Storm. But spawning here in the bottom left corner of the map, he's down one in the series, but he's also on his last life. It's going to be EG's XenoCider.
And upper right as the red Protoss, it's Fnatic's Harstem. And
This is going to be such a depressing way to lose a series.
This is so... It's like, why haven't people done this before? Like,
the bases
there's
are
so
huge.
much dead space.
Yeah. We'll see if XenoCider's got the insight to scout this. Some players they get that feeling, you know, that paranoia kicks in. You're like, well, they better check everywhere. The problem is, for Harstem's sake, like this, even if this gets scouted, it doesn't become easy to deal with. The pylon will actually be protected by the gateway, and I think he is just going to one-gate it with the possible gas at home. The Stalker version of this just seems so much more popular. But keep in mind, guys, XenoCider has been playing with, like, you know, earlier third racks down. His production's been looking okay. Gas first into racks, though. He'll be able to dance around the Zealot with the Reaper. That's good. But, oh, it might not be at home. I don't know. This is going to be so weird.
It is. I mean, we might have to see like a bunker be thrown down for XenoCider near his mineral line, and then it's a supply depot's up for grabs.
Yeah. I'm thinking, like, the bunker is actually a fantastic move, but the problem is once that Stalker comes out, it's going to be able to just go to the other side where the bunker isn't.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's quite frustrating, and XenoCider really didn't see any of this. He was so close to seeing it with the CV, but yeah, the Rax isn't going to see it, and the Reaper, like, I think he's going to come in immediately with the Zealot, but the Reaper could have potentially gone to the other side of the map.
Oh, XenoCider. Oh, XenoCider. Well, the second
Oh,
Rex
that's right.
starts
He's not going for a Reaper.
No,
he's going for a factory. Ooh.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's a factory. I don't know why I said Rex, but that's okay. This is like, you can deal with the Zealot, maybe. It's 3 shots to workers, though. I mean, they're gonna go down so quickly. Starts the bunker up, not a bad move.
He needs to put that factory someplace safer. A Hellion, a Widowmine, those would be useful. Basically anything would be useful.
Hellion would be the best. Widowmine would just go off one Zealot and be useless forever. Trying to surround with the SCVs is ballsy as hell. It's so hard to micro these back. The problem is, if Zealots start their swing animation, they will land a third attack no matter what. But taking minimal losses for now, emphasis on for now, because it's starting to rack up pretty quickly. Hopefully he doesn't over-dedicate. He's trying to keep the factory protected, but in doing so, he gives away so much that he doesn't actually have the money to build anything out of it. A solid defense so far, but the Stalkers is going to come out next. It's going to kite these Marines for days.
Yeah.
SCV, please.
No need to lose you too.
Focuses on the Zealot. That's a really smart move. Tries to block the Stalker with the SCVs. SCVs are actually pretty effective versus Stalkers, but the problem is these SCVs are already really low, and he doesn't have a full surround.
He did choose to go for a Widowmine, by the way. I mean, if it hits the Stalker, then it hits the Stalker, right? Like, dead, bam. But if he just dances around it, maybe he won't have the option to.
Oh, this is gonna be so awkward. Super Stalkward. Oh! Gets the shot. Nicely done.
Yeah, that was a nice hold. I mean, you have no idea it was on the way.
It's a nice hold, but he's still down. He lost a lot of SCVs in that.
Yeah. Throw it.
This is actually really smart, because if the Stalker didn't see this coming, he would have gotten across the map scot-free, he would have burrowed that mineral line, and there would be no detection for Harstem for quite some time. In fact, the Hellion! Oh, the Hellion's gonna be so sick. Burrow the Widowmine, kill the Stalker, use the Hellion to kill the probes. Or, well, he just keeps walking.
Keep waddling. Keep waddling.
I mean, one Hellion can do a lot of damage, but sadly the Widowmine... I think if he had burrowed that for the Stalker, probably could have been the best way to go about it. But it's a heat of the moment thing, and this is a weird situation to be in the first place, so it's not like, oh my god, what a noob, he doesn't know what he's doing. Got proxy gated, didn't see it coming, how does he not know how to react?
You know, XenoCider does get that second command center down, he cleans up the pylon on the gateway. And Harstem is still on one base. So, you know, right now I'm wondering what Harstem's going to do. He had to get that robo because of that Widowmine. I don't know if a second Widowmine was going to be on the way either.
You know, I would love to see him do one base immortal drops. I think it'd be gross. I think it would be disgusting. But I don't know what else you really do, because his warp tech's so delayed, right? Doesn't really have the gas to go for a quick Colossus.
It looks like XenoCider is actually planning on, even if it is a one base all in, that it's going to be hitting at a time that he would be fine against, because he's getting a third command center.
Yeah, that's actually pretty ballsy. But I mean, he got to see that too with the Hellion, right? Like when he went across the map, he saw the Robo, so he knew the timings. He knew there wasn't a Nexus down. He knew there wasn't income, and he knew with the Robo finishing up, there certainly wouldn't be the money to throw down 4 more gateways. So, pretty good read off of that Hellion, to be honest.
Yeah. But the question is, of course, what is Harstem going to do? Looks like he's going to save up that Nexus. It's going to be later, though. And as such, XenoCider has a decent chance, in fact, a really good chance to come up in economy, where he's going to have 3 mules at a time, making up for a lot of SEVs.
Yeah, I should note, by the way, I may have given the wrong information going into it. We're on the European server right now, guys. I think I said North American when we were server swapping. So, I mean, it is the away game for XenoCider, so to speak.
Let's go see that Nexus. Or get stuck and die.
I believe he confirmed that before dying. Let's go check the vision. Yeah. So he did, in fact, get to see that before going down.
Cool, cool. Looks like Harstem really is expecting that Woodamine drop.
You know, even with the hell he's dying like that, it kind of comes back to that whole, like, it's cheaper than a scan anyways. Like, to use 2 Hellions to scout like that. Yeah. So I applaud the way he did this.
Yeah, it was just the one, so even cheaper.
The one earlier.
The only one of Helene has died.
Oh, really? I thought that. I just assumed the first one.
That just ran away, got repaired, and went back.
Even better.
Yeah,
man, exactly. I love a deal and I love cost efficiency.
The evil laughter, cost efficiency.
I know you guys can't see. I'm like rubbing my hands. Like, I don't know why.
It's the evil market man. Whatever.
I'm all about the minerals, girl. We do have the upgrades starting a little bit later for XenoCider, but I think timings are kind of thrown to the wind when you have that proxy start. Like, whether it had been successfully game ending or not, everyone's timings are going to be messed up from that point on. And with the game continuing through like this, Harstem is kind of getting more normalized, but for someone who has the essence of Chrono Boost and who should normally be ahead in probes at this point, he's actually still behind. Well, okay, only just now playing ahead, but the mules, of course, carrying XenoCider. Look at the income over here more so than the actual probe count.
Yeah. XenoCider is actually looking really, really good. You know, down by 7 workers seems like quite a heavy loss, especially when they do have Chrono Boost, but without that second Nexus, it wasn't overpowering. What?
Never mind. I thought Harstem had way more stock. I was gonna say he could just blink up here and be a real pain in the ass, right? But it's like 5 stalkers. This is easy peasy. He's got Stim finishing up in a second too. He'll be able to deal with this.
He sees that blink is still in the way.
Yeah. That's a big scan actually too, to see that. I think for Xeno at this point, he'll get those medevacs out, maybe go for a drop or 2, but that's what's going to give him the vision to know whether he needs to transition into Vikings or not. I mean, he might just do it anyways, because all Terran players have that. You play enough StarCraft 2, you get this paranoia that builds up over time, and you start thinking like, okay, I need Vikings. This is probably Colossus, even if I haven't seen them.
Yeah. Well, I thought he saw the robotics bay. Yeah, he did. So he knows it's probably on its way out right now. And if he stems into the base that he had a bigger army, that's fine. Like that's a really big base. You can get a good concave. But going up the ramp, no.
I like that he checked for that third. That's pretty cool. He's sadly going to miss the probe just barely, but this is really ballsy for Harstem to move out to snipe that off. Just one Marine, but he sees the army right here.
Yeah. Doesn't want to get caught in between his base and the third, so the army does take care of it. But he won't. There's a lot of space to jump up on in Secret Spring.
Yo, I think this is the first map in this whole best of 5 where Xeno got the third before Harstem.
He got it almost at the exact same time last game. Maybe a second ahead.
Chasing back home, waiting to meet up with a couple more Marauders. Is there no concussive shell? There's no concussive shell. That's going to be a problem.
Well, it'll be annoying. This is actually kind of a bold move out from Harstem. He does have a force field now. So.
The concern, though, isn't like so much about catching the stalkers. It's more about the zealots later, right? Trying to kite them around in that stutter step. I mean,
well, that's just because he only has 1 tech lab, right? No, he has 2 tech labs. Yeah, I don't know. That should be on the
just got 3 tech labs.
Oh, excuse me.
I mean, it's 50 minerals, 50 gas. It's the one upgrade I think you can argue most that like this you should have this thing. There's no reason for it. It's so cheap. It researches quickly, but I just really hope this doesn't come to bite him in the ass, because it very well may. Harstem has been showing throughout the series that he will go Zealot heavy, and it will be pretty effective. Now, the interesting thing about Secret Spring is there are really only 3 ways through the map outside drops. You got the rocks down here to the south, you got the rocks here to the north, and Harstem's actually doing what I was about to discuss, where you put pylons down. You want to actually just have vision on it. Screw warp-ins, but just knowing where your attack is coming from is a pretty big deal.
Oh, that's way too bumped up. That's way too many classes.
This is one the Medivacs do. It's unfortunate he hasn't seen this Observer, too. It's been a big scout for Harstem up to this point.
Yeah, you think that'd be the most obvious place for an observer.
Yeah, it covers like the one path you can go down.
Yeah, I might want to scan that later on. Hey, does a pylon range cover?
This one
you can
will,
warp it on the other side of the
will.
rocks,
This
right?
one will. This one will, yeah. I only know this because I've done this with DTs. Of course, yeah, I know you're going to say that, so I was giggling. Just write me off as a cheesy player, whatever. I'm just saying, Choya made it to the finals versus Marine King. Cheese isn't
saying
so bad.
cheese works. Alright, whatever. Well, XenoCider is not really getting a great opportunity to take the army on. Harstem, yes, he's stuck in this, like, the middle right here with the majority of his army, but it's a good enough army to take anything on. And XenoCider, not very drop-heavy this game. Of course, getting the pretty fast 3rd CC, everyone's been kind of holed up. It is 16 minutes in the game, but you kind of gotta have to view it more as it being, like, 12 minutes, you know, like charges on the way, and one was on the way.
Yeah, all timings again just completely screwed up by the way things should start here. But what I do find a little bit interesting, first and foremost, we do have concussive shells, great. You know, we're kind of harping on that. Really good to see that it has this come out. But vehicle weapons coming out. I mean, in every way, XenoCider is actually ahead on upgrades, and you don't typically see this in a TVP. It's normally Protest. They crown out the double forges. They're on 3-3. You know, it's just smooth sailing for them. But with this being the case, what it is, without level 3 armor upgrades, XenoCider, even without vehicle upgrades, is actually probably going to melt the Colossus. I mean, 10 Vikings on something that has barely 1 armor upgrade, this is going to go pretty well if he decides to fight.
Yeah. Well, luckily, you know, if Harstem camps this entryway, he'll always be choked up, right? So the bio will die really fast. And if XenoCider gets away from this entryway, then the Vikings they don't have any, like, secret ledge to be on top of, which would happen on Banai. It is wide open after this pathway.
That was interesting. To knock down the rocks like that. I guess remove the chance of that falling down on him later.
Yeah. Finally.
Finally. But even if he goes to take out the one to the north, there is a pylon, so Harstem will at least see this coming. And getting in position to deal with the Terran player is very important. Pre-positioning and knowing where the drops are coming from. Now, XenoCider might kill this and fake killing the rocks and then maybe drop elsewhere. I think that would be a really cool move, but really just does not have a very big medevac count right now. Harstem is fully aware of this.
Yeah. We have a War Prism from Harstem. He's the one that's going to be dropping first, I guess. It's kind of funny. The army does have a chance to get into a decent position, I suppose. You can kind of go over the 3rd, maybe with the Vikings. The blink forward was not good.
Even losing a couple stalkers might not seem like that big of a deal, but it's what affects the Vikings the most. What's going to zone them out is not the fear of, like, a storm, it's the fear of the stalkers.
Yeah. I like the cannon position, not only for drop defense, but also in case XenoCider was to abuse that ledge.
Xeno's going to see that War Prism coming a mile away. The problem is his production's not going to be able to do anything. He's maxed out. So a couple of units sprint here to respond, but that's all that can really come here. So continue to push with the attack. His only real choice, upgrades again in his favor in a pretty big way. Armor upgrade's about to complete for Harstem. Meanwhile, the Zealot warp into the main.
Yeah, only anticipated the one at the 3rd, but the army fight looks like it's about to happen. He had an opportunity to snipe off
where are the EMPs?
They do land on some of the army, but there's still a lot of storms left. They're all going on the Vikings.
But yeah, that's the thing. The Vikings don't really care. They're going to take down this Colossus either way. He does lose a lot of the Vikings, but most of the Colossus were taken down. There's not a lot left for this. If XenoCider had more medevacs, he could just heal and continue to push, but perhaps a little bit worried. Is starting to back up. Now, Harstem did help him with his supply problem by killing a lot of SCVs while this went on, but XenoCider may have sacrificed a little too much. Good game is called, and Harstem will lock down the series 3-1. Beating XenoCider.